It is also the chemical companies and the food companies and the big agricultural companies that are allowing for so much toxin in our water to begin with, so much toxins in our air to begin with, so much overly processed foods to begin with. It is not just an issue of all the Americans who cannot afford their insulin. It's the fact that America has the highest rate of diabetes among all advanced nations to begin with. It is not just the fact that people cannot afford to buy the asthma inhalers for their children. It's the fact that there are so many environmental toxins that those children are breathing that have to do with the fact that they have asthma to begin with. We are now living at a time where a generation must rise up, not out of anger, but out of survival. And for those who say, you want too much too quickly, too much too quickly, what does that mean when people are dying? What does that mean when people cannot afford their insulin? What does that mean when you have people experiencing, tens of millions of people experiencing medical bankruptcy, and medical debt and medical bankruptcy do not even exist in countries where they have single-payer health care? And that is the vast majority of all of the advanced democracies of the world. What has happened in the last few years is that the American people have been trained to expect too little. We've been trained to ask for too little. We were told that we're crazy to ask for what should be the right of every American. Let me tell you what's crazy: to think we will continue to survive for another 100 years on this planet if we do not make radical change.
Of course, we have the incredible Marianne Williamson here. The audience was really enjoying your speech, really getting a lot out of it. I want to ask you, Bernie Sanders, a lot of people feel like he kind of moved the Overton window for this country on Medicare for all. The vast majority of leftists, Democrats do agree with Medicare for all. What do you think it's going to take for the politicians in office, the electeds, to catch up with public opinion? Even when you add in Republicans, the right, the majority of folks still support Medicare for all.
We have midterm elections next year, and we have to get very, very busy around those, including and most specifically around the primaries. And people need to find out in every town hall, do you or do you not stand for Medicare for all? If people go to candidatesummit.com, I have endorsed some primary candidates who do stand as part of their platform for Medicare for all. And let's be very clear, the Democratic establishment is not supporting those candidates. So we, the people, have to support them, just as so many people are out supporting Nina Turner today in Cleveland and Akron. We shouldn't kid ourselves, and I don't think most people do. There's a limit to how much these rallies matter. They are important to go to because of the energy that it creates, but in terms of real electoral change, we have to get involved in these primaries. And the Democratic establishment feels, for the most part, that the centrist candidates, the corporatist Democrats, have a better chance at winning. I don't feel that way, especially when you see that 70% of the American people support Medicare for all, and a tiny margin of even Republicans support Medicare for all. I think it's absurd to say that the more progressive candidates who stand for that would not win. What's really going on there is that those Democrat establishment moderate corporatist candidates feel that they would lose support with their own corporate donors. So we all have to get very busy with electoral politics right now. And when I say right now, it's because of these primaries.
What about going beyond electoral politics? A lot of people that I've spoken to feel like we're not getting anywhere with our electeds, with electoral politics in general. What else is there?
It's just kind of not true, though. It's actually a kind of Instagram level read of what's going on. You know, there are things happening right now that are certainly better than if Donald Trump were there, but not nearly what we need them to be. But who is in Congress? Listen, if Joe Manchin wasn't there, things would be different. If Kyrsten Sinema wasn't there, things would be different. And if Donald Trump were there, things would be different. So I'm not enrolled in the narrative that's even, I mean, that to me is a very cynical narrative that actually undermines us. Let's
Well,
not kid ourselves.
on that same kind of line, there seems to be a lot of division on the left right now. A lot of people feel rudderless, maybe without a leader or a direction. What would you say to folks about policy, the importance of policy such as Medicare for All?
You know, we all need to be as psychologically and emotionally mature as we can. You know, this is tough. Okay, you know, get up, get dressed, take a shower, and get out there. And getting out there means, particularly right now, those candidates. I have seen in my own work how there can be so much energy around people loudly complaining, analyzing, etc., on issues. But then when I say something like Allie Dulcimer, who I'm sorry I forgot to mention, Allie Dulcimer here in Virginia, Colin Bird, Michaela Wilkes, all the wonderful people running that you can see at candidatesummit.com. It doesn't, where is the interest in that? Where is the excitement in that? So I'm sorry. No. That's just not true. There are some incredible progressive candidates running, but they don't get corporate backing, and they not only don't get corporate backing, they get as much undermining and pushback as possible from the corporate Democratic establishment. You know, the Democratic Party, you know, we need to do with the Democratic Party, if in fact people's hearts are moved that way, the Tea Party did with the Republicans, get involved on the local level. I've been really excited here to see some of the people who say that they're running in precinct chairs and things. Other people here and elsewhere are feeling moved to be part of third party. I think everybody just needs to move with their own heart. But one way or the other, this idea of leaving electoral politics out of it is a trick of the mind. And boy, talk about a dead end and a black hole, it's that one.
I know you have to go, so one more question for you. What is maybe the top thing that you learned or had your mind changed on having run for president, kind of in the belly of the beast?
The two-party system, there's something, it's a big business. It's a real problem. You know, political parties were not mentioned in the Constitution, and George Washington warned us about them in his farewell address. It's a multi-billion-dollar business. You know, the debates are a big money reality show. And where that leads you to, I mean, I'm living with that same conundrum in my heart that other people are. So I'm not telling you because I'm still living the question. This is a very different Democratic Party than I grew up with. I grew up at a time where it was understood that the Democratic Party was the container for the progressive dreams. The progressive wing of the Democratic Party was very important. The assassinations of Bobby Kennedy, assassination of Martin Luther King and others, these were deliberate efforts at decimating the American left. The Democratic Party needs its soul back, and it needs its spine. On the other hand, I know that there are, listen, it's a conundrum. I don't need to delineate it for anyone. Everybody knows what it is. People say, yeah, but you know, Joe Stein, you know, then we had Trump. I don't claim to know the answer, but that's the deeper question. So I'm very excited when I see real progressives getting involved on the grassroots level in the Democratic Party. Once again, people can go to candidatesummit.com. These are great people. They're running right here in this neighborhood. They're running in Texas. They're running in Illinois. Please look at them. I have little videos of these, and just send what you can. Send your $5. Just like a lot of people this weekend are off to Cleveland. Mm-hmm. They're canvassing for Nina because it's a proxy war, what's going on there. And that's being reiterated in district after district all over the country. I know everybody was tired after the last campaign, but I think all of us are here because it's like early morning. Okay, I know I'm going to have some coffee. I got to get back out there. Other generations got out there and did what needed to be done, and we need to get out there and do what needs to be done. And every time I see particularly women, and it's like, we're going to do this. Our ancestors did it, and we're going to do it. That's how I feel.
I could talk to you all day. You're wonderful. And Jordan and I appreciate you shared our Flint investigative report that came out in The Intercept. So audience, check that out. We appreciate
what
you
you do. Very impressed by what you do. Thank you.
Thank you so much.